I don't think anybody owns anything. I think we were left as custodians of this planet. And I think like Jacques Fresno has some interesting ideas around ownership. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Actually, just one last question. Like, you know, if you clear yourself from all the debt, go through the processes, all that sort of thing, and you has said, well, can't get back into debt, then if somebody wanted to buy a property, say for 300 or 500,000, you basically then have to sort of commit yourself to save that money up. Would that be right?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about now.
Okay.
If you want to buy a $500,000 house and you haven't got it, yeah, you're going to have to save it up or go into debt, but at least go into debt with your eyes open and act honourably from there. Or if we can get this accessing this exemption account down and you understand Mary Elizabeth Croft, then there could be ways that you can do that. I have to say that the reason the Illuminatis have set this whole system up with trusts and so forth is that they think they're actually more intelligent, they think they're genetically superior, and they actually think that you're all fodder and that you're not capable of being responsible and looking after the place. And that's why they've created this whole smoke and mirrors system. Now, if I sat here now and told you, because I've got information I can't even share with you now, because I'll only do that when I know, and I'm not sounding, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm only going to share some of the information with people who I feel can be responsible with it. So if I said to you there is an exemption account with unlimited funds, yeah, that you could access, what do you think a lot of people would do with that, who aren't emotionally and spiritually evolved enough to be responsible with that? So this information's not for everybody.
So you get a lot of people out there that would use that, wouldn't they?
Of course they would. Because the whole greed and corruption and self would come back in. Yeah. This is what's beautiful about Vipassana, is it somehow just starts to dissolve the ego and get rid of I, mine, I, mine. Then you hear people like Jacques Fresno who talk about why does everybody need my golf clubs, my jet ski, my car? It's not yours. And everybody, so you open your garage up and there's all my stuff. So I love where Jacques talks about, you know, if you want to go to a golf club. And what they talk about in the Venus Project is embracing technology. Because through our evolution and our raising consciousness, we have created technology, and technology can do wonderful things. So he talks about going to a golf club and just walking through a scanning machine. It'll work out that I'm 6'2", my arms hang this far down, and all I have to do is push left or right-handed, and the perfect set of clubs will come out for me. Not my clubs, just a set of clubs. And because we're not raping and pillaging the planet as much, we could probably build really good quality clubs that are going to last for a long time. So I go out and I enjoy the experience, and then when I come back, the clubs go back to the clubhouse for everybody. And it's all free. Why do they have to be mine in my car with my jet ski? Everyone opens their garage up full of my stuff. Why do you even need my car? And if you take money out of it, what do you take out? You take out a lot of status and ego. Because if everything's free and there's no money, we can't even comprehend that. We can't. And maybe something needs to happen before that level of consciousness is going to be acceptable to the human race. But I think there's going to be some pain along the way before we get there. So, hopefully it's been an interesting day so far where we've talked about awakening to the fiction. 60 to 80% of our working day for someone else, with child slavery and us all being slaves. To me, community doesn't have to be everybody living on the same block of land. Okay? Community can mean a whole lot of things. But I guess for Steph and I, we are looking to set up community. We've got a lot of people interested because of the workshops that we hold, where everybody throws a bit of money at some dirt, and they also throw a little bit of extra digits to community buildings, tractors, you know, trucks, cheese-making facilities, wine-making facilities, whatever it is that we want to have on there. And look, just to let you know, we've been looking at some land about 40 minutes from Bellingen. It's nice and high, it's got beautiful soil, great rainfall, 200 acres for 80 grand, right? And so, why is it so cheap? It's all cheap like that up there, because it's pretty isolated, which is perfect for what I think's coming. And so, you know, roughly we were thinking if everybody had 5 acres and there's 20 families, then that's 100 acres taken care of, and each family has its own 5 acres. There's then 100 acres of community land for orchards and goats and chooks and vegetables, community centres, places for the kids, all that sort of stuff. So that's like, if it's, even say it was $100,000, that's $5,000 each for the land to have 5 acres. Show me where you can get 5 acres for 5 grand, and access to the other 100 acres. And if everybody put an extra 20 or 25,000 in, there's another 400 or 500,000 to build a community shed and tractors and irrigation and all that sort of stuff. So doable. Bought in a foundation. Don't even go to council for approval. Show me why I'm not entitled to build a yurt or whatever it is I want to sustain my family, because I'm responsible. I'm my own sovereign state and I'm happy to take responsibility for that.
On the basis of under the anesthesia?
They're ringing cedars.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. It's on my to-do list.
Lee and I
Only
are
100.
already fighting with the council in our particular shire over their responsibility, their alleged responsibility in situations where we're asking for things. And I've had a few wins back where they've tried to charge money for certain things, and the next step is to zero.
Yeah.
So that's on the way.
Guys, hopefully when you leave today, you'll see that you will apply for a DA. And you will apply. Apply means to beg. You will apply for a BA then, a building approval. You go and apply for it. Well, show me where a wallaby has to do that to build a little home for his family.
Make application.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absurd. So that's the sort of thing that we're looking at, the ability to live abundantly. And, you know, a couple of people might think, well, why is Mark running away? Oh, I don't feel I'm running away. I feel I'm running too. I've had enough of... I had everything, guys. I had everything. I remember sitting on my jetty with my boat bobbing up and down on a Friday afternoon, having a cranny with my mate, and him saying, well, Darwin, you've made it. Because I had all this money in the bank. You know what? It wasn't what it was cracked up to be. I'm happy to live in a canvas yurt on somewhere like this, where Steph and I can get up in the morning and our first thought is, who can we help? Not what's in it for me. What's in it for me? Everybody gets up every day going, what's in it for me? My wealth. My family. So that's where we're heading. And we've met some people from amazing communities. There's some people from a community in here today that you're, I'm sure, welcome to have a chat to. On my last set, I met a guy who's been living on a community in the Shannon, which is in between Lismore and Dunoon. And that was established in the 70s. He's only been there for 5 or 6 years. And, you know, he's invited us. They're all so open and giving. He's invited us to come down on a working bee day. They've written their own constitution. They've got their own arbitration processes, all that sort of stuff. And he says, man, our kids are homeschooled. There's just so much peace and love in the community and so much cooperative support. You know, the outside world is just a crazy place.
But it's very expensive, isn't it? A friend of mine is looking into that, and you know, it's a lot more expensive than buying the convention into the convention.
Yeah, look, when Steph and I have been talking to some of the people about our community, we know some very wealthy people who would probably be happy to come in and pour more money at it. And yet I know some people that have no money, but gee, they've got a lot of solar energy knowledge or permacultures. I know a lovely couple who are into permaculture. No money, but I'd be happy for them to come and be given 5 acres if they're going to share all that knowledge with everybody else. And the people that we're attracting are not, oh, where's your $5,000 or where's your... That's not what it's about. Some of them have got extra digits, you know. And look, guys, if you don't think it's affordable for you now, just get rid of your debt. You watch the digits, the spare digits that you'll have coming in from there. But it is about being a little bit organised with it. But essentially for me, and this might sound very left of field, I'd love there to be zero expectations. Zero expectations on the community. If you want to help, then you help. It just changes the whole volition and intention. Is if you, 3 hours a day, you weren't there for your 3 hours yesterday. If there's actually zero intention, some of Jacques Fresno's ideas of lack of ownership and all the conformity would go out the window. And then there's this willingness, this true open-hearted willingness to be part of that. And if somebody doesn't want to, then let them. That's their deal. Sustainable living. Not buying products that are going to be thrown out in 13 months, things that will work with the environment, that leave less of a footprint. That's certainly the way that we plan to move forward. Everybody's aware of geothermal power and all that sort of stuff. If you're not, look into it. All this stuff's available now. So all this rubbish they feed you from the oil industry about what we need is keeping us in servitude as well. So we've all got choices. If living in a community doesn't resonate with you, then that's fine. If it does, we're going to hold a meeting in the next month or so. We had one late last year of interested people. There was about 30 people there. There's more now. And you don't have to come because you want to be part of it. You can come just because you find the conversation interesting. But we talked about how it could look, how it would feel, what would be the challenges in getting that up off the ground. And we've got a lot of people now hassling Steph and I ready to go to do something. So we're going to have another meeting in the next, as I said, 4 to 6 weeks. If you want to be part of that, we'll shoot it out into an email and we might hold it here or somewhere a bit bigger. But what I will say is that if you're not, you need to be aware of what could possibly happen in the next little while with the economy and the world. And I'm not going to go too much into fear stuff here, guys, but the signs are not good. Interest on interest is reaching critical mass, and it's designed that way. And they've had a little test in Greece to see what would happen. And with a stroke of a pen, they can get things rolling very, very quickly. And what Steph and I have done in the short term is we've stored food. Okay, we've got food stored away. We have got chooks and our own little veggie pads. Tash has been to our place. We're on tank water because all that has to happen is they turn the power off. They turn the power off, it's all over. Forget money because you won't be having any FPOS. There'll be no fuel, no water. All the water in the cities work on power. You know? And if you don't think it can happen, I was in the Philippines in the 80s when Ferdinand Marcos was in. Everybody remember Marcos and Imelda with the million shoes? And we were caught in, I guess it was classed as a mini coup. And we were held under guard in the Hilton Hotel in Manila. And within an hour or so, the banks shut. And within 2 or 3 hours, the supermarkets were emptied out and there was gunfire in the street. And I can tell you now, the look in people's faces is like something I've never seen before. When there's anarchy and there's no food and people can't feed their kids, diplomacy goes out the window. And it can happen like that, like that. So Steph and I are technically by the UN or whatever standards classed as terrorists. Because we store food, we talk a little bit of anti-establishment stuff and a few other reasons, but be a terrorist, store some food. I'll let you know soon. We're heading overseas in about 3 months. Yeah, we've got a food parcel that a friend of ours organised that's all chickpeas and protein, just really plain stuff, but it's actually enough for Steph and I to survive for 3 years. And it cost us $1,600. You can't get them now through this guy, but go and get your own stuff. Just start buying extra stuff. You know what? It's I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Okay? So at this point of the talk, I normally give my little, it was a little story I got told at Sunday school. And it went something like this. It starts to rain, and this guy has this incredible blind faith in his God. It starts to rain, and a four-wheel drive comes by and says, mate, jump on board, the rains are coming. He goes, no, you go and save the rest, I'll put my faith in the Lord. Anyway, it keeps raining, and his whole first story goes under. He's up on the second story on the balcony, and a guy comes by in a dinghy and says, jump on, mate, the rains are coming. He goes, no, you go and save the others, I'll put my faith in the Lord. It keeps raining. He's up on his tippy toes on the chimney, and a helicopter comes by with the rope hanging down. He says, jump on, mate, the rains are coming. He goes, no, go and save the others. I'll put my faith in the Lord. So he drowns. And he gets up to the big fella and he goes, God, where were you? God goes, dude, I sent you a four-wheel drive, a dinghy and a helicopter. What else did you need? So if you're hearing anything now that's resonating with you about getting prepared, then get prepared. Because I've had lots of visions in my life and most of them come true. And I've got visions of people that I've talked to sitting at home going, shit, I wish I'd listened to that crazy prick that afternoon and just stored a bit of food. You can always use it, but just put it aside. Because you know what? Even if it's only for a month, you don't want to be caught without. We have no idea what's coming. We're on the front row seat of the best show on earth at the moment. And without diving into too much fear, if you've got your food and you've got your family, you've got a few things sorted out, then hopefully you can have a little bit more peace. But is anybody, from what I've talked about with community, would anybody be interested in attending that meeting? Yeah, most people, that's good. And keep your eyes out for land for us if you can. We're sort of looking for around that 200 to 300 acre mark. And it doesn't have to be 80,000, it can be more. It depends on the type of people we're bringing on board. But we're keen to get something up and rolling there inside the next 12 months. So we're off to Cambodia and Europe for a couple of months over Chrissy, and certainly within 6 to 8 months of getting back, we'd like to be securing something. Through a foundation where everybody's a participant, everybody's equal, and zero expectations.
Does it have to be in Queensland?
No, it's all a state. Brigalow Corporation.
I thought we could take that over.
Yeah. But who else does it appeal to, of waking up in the morning and not being on the rat race and getting up and, like Steph said, go and pick some berries and make love and make some sculptures and spend some time with your kids or grandkids or whatever, or with each other. That's the life that I want to live. I've had enough of all this illusion. So I'm very very excited that you all came today and took time out of your busy weeks and your busyness to spend time with Stefano on a Sunday, and Tash and Rowan. I thought what we'd do really quickly now is just wind around the room and let us know what you got out of the day.